Back, ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue the meeting. We're moving into section 8 of the agenda bylaws. We do have under 8.1 Service Line Warranties of Canada marketing license agreement, and we do have the recommendation moved by Councilor Burton, seconded by Councilor Young, the bylaw 32/2020, being a bylaw authorizing marketing license agreement for Corporation of the Town of Prescott and Service Line Warranties of Canada Incorporated, to be read first and second time. Any discussion we have, we brought this back, I think this is the third time we've had this year. Any further comments, questions on Service Line and what we're doing here? Anything from staff? We're just going to roll this out, and we are going to promote this, presumably through our, or at least endorse it as we're doing tonight, so people know that the service is available. So with that, any further discussion, comments, questions? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. And following recommendation, moved by Councilor Burton, seconded by Councilor Young, bylaw 32/2020, being a bylaw to authorize marketing license agreement with the Corporation of the Town of Prescott and Service Line Warranties of Canada Incorporated. You read a third time and passed and signed by the Mayor and Clerk. Any final words? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. And 8.2, sale of land, development drive. The recommendation reads, moved by Councilor Jansen, seconded by Councilor Burton, that bylaw 33/2020 being a bylaw to authorize the sale of approximately 55 acres of land along development drive in the Corporation of the Town of Prescott to develop and tell. We read it first and second time. Mr. Armstrong or Ms. Valentine, any comments on this? Anything? I'm assuming no substantial changes. I see the Recorder of Times already covered this, and their story, they pulled everything out of the agenda. But anything else to add on how things have been going with the Patel group here?
No, I think they were just waiting for us to pass the bylaw, and then they'll get moving on their studies and being able to move to due diligence. Period.
Okay. Any comments, questions from the council? Councilor Young?
Well, I just want to confirm a few things in not in legal language, but in plain language, that when we get our money, which is 180 days or something,
Approximately.
and from that point, they have up to 3 years to take out or get their site plan approved. And then they have another 3 years to complete the construction of the first 20 acres. 25 acres. And those are pretty standard clauses that we put in any sale agreement. But in the meantime, we've got the entire amount of the money. So that was one thing. The other thing is they cannot flip the property until the property is substantially completed, the building is completed. They could sell a building down the road, but they can't sell it to another developer in the meantime.
I believe for that, for the 25 acres. So as soon as the 25 acres is developed, then they can sell off parts after that.
Okay, right. What else was there? I think everything else is at their, most of it is at their expense. We might have some other expenses down the road. Depending if they have to do, we will have to do a traffic study.
That's right. Yes. MTO will require.
MTO requires a traffic study, the number of trucks going in and out.
Correct.
If there is a change to the intersection on Edward Street, straightening that road or doing something, whose expense would that be?
We would have work through site plan control to determine that at that point.
Okay. And the determination on that would be partly MTO, right?
MTO has a number of overriding caveats that they have, even above and beyond our planning, beyond the Planning Act and our official plan, as well as their zoning, that they can stop a particular development if they feel that it's going to affect traffic coming on and off of a major four-lane highway. That being said, we would work with them to define alternatives and see how we can best address address those.
And if we put sewer and water out there, they will be paying per acre, an amount per acre towards that development, correct?
No, so the cost of, for the sewer and water north of the 401 would be borne by the town, but they are required to hook to it once it's there and available.
I think that's all the questions I had, or comments that I had. Okay.
Thank you. Councilor Vaughn?
Thank you, Mayor Teller. A couple things about this. Curious about, unhappy about, however you want to put it. Councillor Young referred to the sewer and water if we put it north of the 401. Memory serves me correctly up to this time, if we put it north of the 401, it was a connection fee based on the number of foot along the road per property. You're talking a connection fee. Mr. Armstrong, how do you figure the connecting fee?
So when we run water and sewer, this particular agreement does not contemplate a connection fee. It would be that our requirement to put it north of the 401, they would connect to it at that point. In terms of the previous agreements, I don't believe in the two smaller lots that are west of Riverside that they have that in their agreements.
I would suggest they do because they always have. Riverside was the first one back there and they have that agreement. It wouldn't make sense for us to make an agreement considering that we were planning and going east with that if we did it with protocol was going in there for us not to have that in. So I'd like to take a little closer look at that. The other thing is on page 77 in Schedule B, number 2C, extension of Development Drive to connect with Merwin Lane with a road-based cost to be incurred by the town of Prescott and/or Township of Augusta on terms and conditions satisfactory to the purchaser. As Ray mentioned, this may not take place for 3 years, and we are getting the future council to quite possibly hundreds or maybe more than $1 million worth of road construction. We've discussed this before. I don't know that Augusta is a signatory to this, but considering the fact that a considerable chunk of this property is in Augusta Township, I would think that they would have to be on board with this for us to go ahead. It doesn't say anything about the paving, it says the road base, and we do have the road base constructed a considerable way through there, but I am not happy at all that we are going to be liable, according to this, to construct the road the rest of the way to Merwin Lane, because if Augusta Township says, no, we're not gonna do it, who's stuck? We're stuck, the taxpayers are stuck, the next council
We're
is stuck.
not, we're not, because of the 180 days. If this doesn't, if there's no agreement on how the road is going to be built, the deal dies. We're not stuck on building in that terminology. I thought that was fairly clear from the beginning. We are talking to Augusta now, but this is all going to roll over like 180 days, and it's why that 180 days is there, so we can make sure that there's a good agreement with Augusta. They've been involved in these discussions from the beginning. I know Matthew's had a number of meetings with Ray, and I think we're in a good place there, but I mean, obviously, things can change, but that's the 180. We're not committing that we're gonna be the ones to be able to be the sole ones to build the road, but we're gonna have more clarity on that once we continue to talk and work through the 180 days.
Just clarification, Ray Morrison, not me.
Yeah, sorry, Ray Morrison, CIO of us. Too many Rays.
Too bad, I think Ray might have been very agree. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's a good point, because we want to make it clear we're not hamstringing anyone. The more interesting part of this is the other intersection that MTO has control over, and there will have to be some arrangements made there. to how that connects with the 401 ramp. That's been known from all along as well. That's why I've already talked to Minister Clark about this. I know our CIO has discussed this with the MTO on a number of occasions. So again, for the 180 days, this really, this is the starting gun, and all these conditions have to be looked at and met within 180 days. And of course, also, as Ray mentioned, we're receiving a check at the end of 180 as well. So it actually puts the ball in their court to get the development started as soon as possible. So it could be 3 years, you never know. That's what the allowance is. But I'll be surprised if it is that long, given that they'll have that significant amount of money invested in the property. So, but you never know with these things either. It's economic development. At the end of the day, there's always a bit of a gamble on it. Things work out. But I think we're in a reasonably good place here, considering some of the factors that are still moving. Any further discussion on the terms or the bylaw or anything else we need to solve? So we do have the motion moved by Councilor Jansen, seconded by Councilor Burton, to authorize the sale. Seeing no final comments, I will call the question. All in favor? Motion's carried. And to finalize this third time reading, moved by Councilor Jansen, seconded by Councilor Burton, that bylaw 33-2020 being allowed to authorize the sale of approximately 55 acres of land along Development Drive with Corporation of the Town of Prescott to develop a TEL, be read a third time, passed and signed by the mayor and clerk. Any final words? All in favor? Motion's carried. Okay, and that takes us through to item 9, closed sessions. Oh, sorry.
Did we want to extend the meeting before we move into closed session?
Yeah, probably might as well, because we won't be done in 10 minutes, I don't think. So motion to extend beyond the 9 o'clock. That moved by Councilor Ostrander, seconded by nobody wants to. Councilor McConnell, all in favor? Are you still thinking about it? Opposed?
You want that one or?
Okay, so we'll move on to item 9. Thanks for the reminder, Kim. So 9 is a closed session. We do have a recommendation by Councilor Young, seconded by Councilor Shanka, to move into closed session at 8:50 p.m. to address matters pertaining to 9.1 committee board appointments under section 2392B of the Municipal Act 2001, personal matters of an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, and 9.2 purchase and sale under section 2392C of the Municipal Act 2001, proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality, and that the CAO, treasurer, clerk, deputy clerk, and economic development officer remain. All in favor? Motion is carried. We are in closed session.